Hello, in this video we're going to be going through just briefly the sequence function or sequencer function in Ultrabeat. Now Ultrabeat is the drum synth in Logic Pro 10. The first question is probably what is a sequencer? And I think the easiest way to think about what a sequencer is in the context of music certainly is that it's something that plays back notes that you put in a particular order. Okay, so in our case, in this drum synth, this Ultrabeat will play back, certain samples in an order that we want it to. Okay, this will make more sense as we do this if that's a little unclear. So the first couple of things, how do we actually turn this on and where is the sequencer? The sequencer is this area, this grey area down the bottom. Hopefully you can see there, it's got gridded lines in the background here. And we've got this sequence of numbers, 1 through to 32, just along the back there. How do we turn this on? What we need to do is click this on button. Unsurprising there. It turns blue when it's on and grays itself out when it's off. To play through the sequence that you're going to make, you need to click on the play button. And you can tell it's playing because this blue bar here, the sequence bar, starts moving along from 1 to wherever your sequence ends. And simply to stop it again, just press stop. A couple of other things. Resolution. This changes effectively the note value of your sequence. So 1/8 being a longer note value and 1/32 being a much quicker note value. Okay, so how do we actually put in notes? I think that's probably the most crucial point here. What you need to do is click on the channel that you want to click on. So like I've just done, I clicked on kick. Come down to one of these numbers. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 just here. If we double click in one of those small columns, what will happen is you get a note inputted in for you from that track. So double click, we can tell that it's put a note in because number 1 highlights itself, so that means there is in fact a note there. If we just quickly press play, you can hear that the kick comes through. And in order to add in more notes, all you need to do simply is just click in more notes, like so. You can also just click on the numbers above as well, just like this. But you can also come down to the full view, click that one, and this is a grid view of the same thing. And I actually think this is much more intuitive to musicians and to programming. If you've used any hardware or any other DAWs with sequences, this is probably a little bit more familiar. And in this way, all of the grid works from left to right in line with this left to right of the sequence. But the only difference is you click in on the actual grid itself. So you fill in each little square and it highlights blue to let you know that there is in fact a note there now. If you want to take away a note, click it again and it disappears. And yeah, let's just give this a quick play. There we go. And what happens is the sequencer will actually loop back around. So you may have noticed we went from 1 through to 32 and then back to 1, which is great. So it's a looping function in this way. Now, if this sequence is a little too long for you, if you just draw your eyes over to this tiny little tab on the right hand side of the sequencer, if you click that and drag, you can drag it left or right to make the sequence longer or shorter. And you can tell where the sequence ends because it grays out everything after that. So from 17 up to 32, we won't hear anything. So let's just quickly play that through. And you can see there that, and hear there that it jumps back from the end of bar 16 back to bar 1 and loops through again. So in order to add in more notes from different parts of the kit, all you need to do is click on that channel and add in notes. So let's go ahead and do that. So we'll add in a snare and we'll add in some hi-hats as well. And maybe an open hat here at the end. Okay, right. And so our sequence will loop from 1 through to 16 back to the beginning, playing all of these notes that we've put in here from these different parts of the drum kit. And there we go, quite a little bit too loud here on this channel, so I'm just going to turn it down a touch. There we go, and yeah, there we go. That's how you make a sequence. Now this resolution function comes in a little bit more handy now. So if I select 1/8 and then play this, you'll notice first of all that the grid lines change in the background. So each small box, each section, each sequence number is now worth an eighth. So you can see and hear how much slower that is. And if we go to the opposite end, 30 seconds, much quicker. This syncs to the DAW tempo. So at the moment it's 120. So it's syncing to that. In case you're wondering how it determines the speed. So back to 16ths. Now let's say that you're really delighted with the sequence that you made. And you're thinking, well, this is great, but I actually want to have the MIDI. I want to be able to edit these notes a little bit further. Really simply, if we come down to this section here, it says pattern. There's a tiny grey box there, and you can see there, drag to arrange window pops up when you hover over it. Go ahead, click that one, hold it down, and drag into your actual channel track. There we go. And just drag it back to the beginning. Now just an extra little thing, make sure that you turn the sequencer off if you do this, otherwise you'll get a sort of doubling. So make sure you've turned it off. Come back to your actual channel strip, and then if we press play, and it stops dead. We can click on the piano roll, bring those MIDI notes up, and edit the velocity like this, using the velocity editor down there. So we can make them much louder, much quieter. So you can see how this would be quite a useful thing. We can also edit the velocity in the actual sequencer itself, and that's what these blue bars are. So we can see velo there, meaning velocity, means that in this sequencer it will play the sequence, this first part of the sequence, a full loudness, full power, and if I switch this one to something at the opposite end, we should hear that quite nicely. If I just solo the kick, there you go. So you can hear how that changes how hard you actually hit it, so the velocity. Now the gate, you might have noticed, is what allows you to actually extend the note length more manually. So this first kick should last 2/16, so 1/8. And if you want to go in the opposite direction, you can make it shorter again. So it's when the sample cuts off, essentially. So yep, there we go. And that's just a real simple, quick walkthrough of how to actually use the sequencer in Ultrabeat. Such a useful thing, and I'm sure you're going to have lots of fun with it. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And I always love to hear about how people get on with using these things. So drop a comment below if you want to let me know. And as always, thanks for watching.